The following feature presentation is part of the Skywalking Network.
This is what you can look forward to on episode 511 of Skywalking Through Neverland.
See, I'm not sure you could pull off a Dedra Meero. You're just too happy.
No, I really couldn't. Yes!
Brasso weaponized Maarva.
Yep.
You can't put Mon in a corner. You can put Baby in a corner, just not Mon Mothma. So, Krennic, go over to Galaxy's Edge. Get a little Death Star popcorn bucket. That'll help. Fernando in the Sky Chat is saying, this is the best breakdown to a TV series ever.
Oh my.
Are you ready?
Off to Neverland.
Here we go.
A long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away.
To all who come to this happy place, welcome. Disneyland is your land.
When I first made Star Wars, everybody in Hollywood said, well, this is a movie Disney should have made.
You're more than just fans. You're family.
Best day ever!
It's about family, and that's what's so powerful about it.
Hey.
When you use a bird to write with, it's called tweeting.
When we visit the world of Disney, we never grow old. It's a Peter Pan, Never Land that keeps us young in heart.
This is Jedi Master Obi-Wan Kenobi, and you are skywalking through Neverland. I have a good feeling about this.
Hey, Skywalkers! We've waited, and we waited, and we waited some more, and we even waited on program, but now it's here. Andor Season 2 is just around the corner. But where did we leave off with our friends Cassian and Bix and B? Well, we're going to tell you all that coming right up. But for right now, we want to welcome you back to
Skywalking Through Neverland.
I am Richard Woloski. Now, everyone, please say hello to my sweetie wife, Sarah, who really wanted to cosplay today as Dedra Meero.
I think that would have been fun, and you could have been Krennic, and it would have been amazing.
But we would need your hair to be so tight in a bun that it pulls your face back. It's like plastic surgery without plastic surgery.
And then I'd really have to work on my scowl. I don't think I'm doing it very well.
No. Okay, that's the homework. We want you to take a picture of your best Dedra Meero scowl and send it to us, okay? Post it in our Facebook group.
She just has a disgusted look. All right.
Yes.
Wow. Well, with that, we are your enthusiastic podcast destination for the many decades of your Star Wars, Disney, Marvel, and pop culture fandom. So imagine your weekly Wookiee hug and your little sprinkle of pixie dust for our family of Skywalkers.
See, I'm not sure you could pull off a Dedra Meero. You're just too happy.
No, I really couldn't. Yeah, I was like, oh, it would be fun to cosplay as some of these Imperials, but then it just wouldn't.
No, you couldn't smile the whole day.
No, it's true. Well, we are live on the Skywalking Through Neverland YouTube channel right now. And Richard, what's an update on our subscribers?
We went up 10 since last week. 10! And now we have 9,338 YouTube subscribers. We went up 10 since last week. That's pretty...
That is pretty good.
That is
usually we
momentous.
Go up like 5.
Yeah, 5 or 6 tops, but 10. What did we do?
Well, we've been posting a lot of reels and things.
A lot of reels, and I know everyone wanted to see what was going on with the last gift from Alderaan.
Oh, yes.
The last classic Marvel Star Wars comics we did last week when it was the Star Wars and John Carter mashup.
Crossover.
Everyone wanted to see what that looked like, and lo and behold, we got subscribers because of that.
Yes. Well, coming up on this episode, we prepare you for Andor Season 2 by reviewing where we left off and also reviewing the central characters. We also look back on our roundtable interview with Andor's production designer, Luke Hull, and costume designer, Michael Wilkinson. What was their focus in Season 1, and how does that now apply in Season 2?
Oh, lots to look forward to in Season 2. But you know what you can look forward to? Every week, we like to tell you that we are being sponsored by Small World Vacations. What an awesome segue. They are a diamond-level Disney vacation planner travel agency that can help you book your trip to a Disney park around the world, a Disney cruise, or you can go to the other side, the Universal theme parks. The other side of the theme park multi-universe. Like the new epic universe, which is just opening now in about 5 weeks.
Yeah, but there's like soft previews happening. I'm very jealous, but we'll get there in October.
Yes, cannot wait. And do you know who we're going to call?
Small World Vacations.
So we're going to head over there to smallworldvacations.com. And you know what we got? A no obligation price quote. And you know what we did then? We told them that Skywalking Through Neverland sent us.
Yes. And then we used that price quote.
And then they said, why are you talking in third person? Is that first person or third person?
I don't know. All right.
First person.
Okay. We are recording this episode from Long Beach, California on April 15th.
Happy Tax Day!
2025. Oh boy. So, Richard, what happened today in Star Wars history besides all the Star Wars characters having to turn in their taxes?
Well, we have to wish a happy 63rd birthday to Tom Kane, who was born on this date, April the 15th, 1963. So I'm sure his parents filed taxes and then went to the hospital. Now, Tom Kane voiced Yoda in the Clone Wars, as well as Admiral Yularen, and he did the fun opening newsreel narration for the Clone Wars.
Under siege, Separatist forces have launched a major offensive. Led by the evil droid General Grievous, Republic forces are pushed to the brink. In response to this overwhelming attack,
he also voiced Admiral Akbar in The Last Jedi and Star Tours. Mm-hmm. Not going to blame him for not picking me to be Rebel Spy.
No.
It's his birthday. We'll let it go.
There's someone else to blame for that.
Yes. Yeah, that guy from last week. The guy who didn't like me. Now, we met Tom Kane at Celebration 5 in Orlando. And I was his autograph helper for official pics. And I was so happy to be seated next to the Tom Kane. And afterwards, he said, hey, I can give you an autograph. So he gave me this over here. It's Yoda, Clone Wars Yoda, right there. Can you see that? And it says, to Richard, TPZ rocks. Because I showed him a little bit of our fan film, TPZ, between people coming and going, getting his autograph. So I showed it to him, and he really liked it.
Now, is that also when you got D. Bradley Baker to voice one of the clones in your video?
No, that was the celebration beforehand.
Oh, okay.
Because I inserted D. Bradley Baker's voice into TPZ. So at this point, when we met Tom Kane, it was already done.
Oh, okay. Perfect. Awesome.
Celebration's a good place for endorsements. And he was such a nice guy. And he was saying that, yeah, at home I got 9 kids. And wait, did you just say you have 9 kids?
Wow.
My goodness. So he didn't look tired at all. He didn't look tired or like, oh boy, I got to sign a lot of autographs because I got 9 kids to support. Oh my goodness. Very, very happy guy. But unfortunately, in 2020, he suffered a stroke, which forced him into retirement. That's hard.
Yeah.
But you know what? We will celebrate the man that is Tom Kane. So we wish you, Tom, a speedy recovery.
And a happy birthday.
Yeah. Do you know who else needs a speedy recovery? I am great. I'm nailing all these segues today.
Who else needs a speedy recovery?
The galaxy.
What?
Well, after the first season of Andor, things weren't looking too good due to that tyrannical empire. So I hope things turn around in season 2.
3, 2, 1, action!
In the first season, we make sure Cassian seemed like a normal guy. But in season 2, he takes his place as a leader of the rebellion. The Empire cannot win. Cassian is very personal to me, and I feel very proud of being part of his story.
A second season of Andor was officially confirmed for 12 episodes at Celebration Anaheim in 2022. However, after production was halted in 2023 for the Writers Guild strike and the SAG-AFTRA strike, filming was completed at the beginning of 2024. Then we just had over a year to wait.
Now, during that time, we didn't waste any time. We watched and we rewatched Andor in anticipation for this new season, just so we could stay refreshed with the characters and the situations. Now, before season 2 hits Disney Plus on April 22nd, we wanted to prep you with where the first season left off.
Now, truth be told, we have seen all 12 episodes of Andor Season 2. And there were times when we had to stop to look something up because it had been a while since we last rewatched the first season, or just some of the characters and situations are mentioned and you're like, oh wait, I need a refresher on that. So we'll start with a reminder of the central characters.
And who's that going to be? Our good friend Cassian Andor.
That's right.
Hey, Maria is watching us right now in the Sky Chat. She says, hello, everybody. Sorry I'm late.
No problem, Maria. We're just getting into the main part of the show.
Now, he is the rogue mercenary turned vital member of the Alliance. And I would say one of the most vital members. He would be in the Mount Rushmore of vital members of the Rebel Alliance. It'd be like Luke Skywalker and Princess Leia, and I would put Cassian Andor right up there.
I would too.
Yeah, at the end of season 1, that's when he does the big change. He tells Luthen, "Take me in or kill me."
Mm-hmm. Yeah, at this point, he has learned lessons from all walks of life. He's been in an Imperial prison. He's been seeing the Ferrix Revolution, all kinds of things, and he is wholeheartedly invested in the rebellion.
Oh, yeah, he knows what, after being attacked on Niamos.
Yep.
And being sentenced for a crime he didn't commit for 6 years, he's like, I can't let this happen to anybody else.
Mm-mm.
And seeing how he had someone like Luthen Rael taking him in, this was a perfect jumping point for him to get into this rebellion because he couldn't take it anymore.
No. All right, so in Andor's tight circle of trusted friends, we have Bix Caleen.
Which is just a fun name to say.
Yeah. Now, Cassian has had an on-again, off-again romantic relationship with Bix while living on Ferrix. She was a mechanic who had a connection with Luthen Rael, and she connected Luthen to Andor. So during the Empire's occupation on Ferrix, they captured and tortured her. Dedra specifically captured and tortured her until she was rescued by Andor, who then got her off-world.
I would even put her on that Mount Rushmore of the vital members of the Alliance because it was Bix, like you said, that connected Cassian and Luthen, because Cassian had that Star Path unit he wanted to sell.
Exactly.
And he knew that her contact out there was the perfect person, and it just so happens that and Bix didn't know that Luthen was such a spy. He had a dual personality, one of being a spy and someone who was putting together these rebel cells. So Bix, you know what? That woman's intuition, I guess.
Absolutely. All right, let's talk about Brasso.
Another fun name to say.
Yeah.
Brasso. He's another childhood friend of Cassian and a very, very trusted friend. In the Star Wars galaxy, some of your closest friends can't be trusted. Yeah, they grew up on Ferrix. He's the one who Andor relies to cover for him. Whenever Andor needs an alibi, he goes to Brasso and said, okay, no matter who asks, tell him I was with you and we were out drinking.
That's right. Yeah, and I especially love in the finale of season 1, Brasso was the one who really led the charge of the rebellion on Ferrix and bashed some Imperial heads in with Maarva's brick. And Maarva is Andor's mom who passed away, and her ashes were turned into this brick. And then Brasso...
Which was turned into a weapon.
Yes!
Brasso weaponized Maarva.
Yep. Amazing. Amazing.
You know what? If I were turned into a brick, I'd want to be weaponized too.
Right?
In this situation.
I agree. And this picture is amazing.
Yeah. In that same scene, we had Wilman Pak. Now, he is the son of Salman Pak, who had installed the radio which Bix had used to communicate with Luthen. So I guess we can put Salman Pak up there on that Mount Rushmore.
Yep.
Of vital Rebel Alliance founders.
However, because of Dedra figured out that it was this radio in Salman's shop. And so Salman was captured, tortured, and killed by the Empire. So then Wilman took vengeance and built a bomb, which he used during Maarva's funeral to cause chaos. And so Wilman here in this picture is the younger one.
Yeah. No, once again, I'm going to say it. He belongs on the Mount Rushmore of the founders of the rebellion, whether he knows it or not. And I believe that's a line in Andor. Or I think Luthen had said it, that all these people who were in their own way, rebelling against the Empire, are forming their own rebellion.
So that's Nemec's manifesto.
Yeah.
Nemec's manifesto mentions that.
Oh, yeah, you're right, yes.
All these random acts of rebellion have enlisted in the cause without knowing it.
Yeah, against the Empire.
Yes.
So you gotta love that when things just happen because of kismet.
Yeah, and now Willman doesn't have a big part in season 1. I mean, he kind of does, but he's in the background, but he becomes more of a bigger character in season 2. So definitely look for him. And fun fact, Willman is named after one of the writers, Bo Willimon, who wrote the Narkina 5 episode arc in season 1.
You see that a lot in movies or television, the characters being named after writers, or you see the Easter eggs somewhere where there's someone's birth date up there. Or when I worked in creature effects, all the effects sculptors would sculpt these creatures and little puppets to look like themselves.
Oh.
I never got to that point.
Didn't Stuart Freeborn did that with Yoda?
Yes, exactly. Yeah, like get a little Einstein, get a little Stuart Freeborn, and together they birthed Yoda. All right, next up, we got to talk about our big man, Mr. B2 Emo. He is such a sympathetic droid. Whenever
he's like a needy little droid.
Yeah.
Emotionally needy.
Come on, you want to just hug him.
You really do.
Why haven't they made any kind of plush of being... I know he's a droid, but you want to hug him so bad.
You really do. Now, in the Droid Depot, haven't they made a more kind of a droid like this with those legs? But it's not B2.
But it's not a B2 design, no.
No, it's still like an R unit with those legs, like those stocky legs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he was really the emotional support droid for Maarva when during her last days she had B2 to keep her company. And I'm surprised that, okay, spoiler alert, we see this in the trailer, B2 is seen in Andor Season 2.
Right.
But after he had projected Maarva's hologram, where she had incited this riot against the Empire, you would have thought someone would have blasted the droid. But we do see him get on the shuttle,
right.
So we do see him get away.
Yeah. B2 gets away, and so he survived that Ferrex massacre. And after Dio, in The Rise of Skywalker, he was the first squat droid to speak English.
Cassian, I brought what you told me. Cassian.
So he looks a little like an R unit or something, droid like that. And those droids usually just beeps and boops and whistles and
Gave him so much more personality. And don't forget, this is the way the R2-D2 was first conceptualized, where he spoke English.
Oh.
So I think they're coming I'm just putting this together right now. I think they came full circle to the original R2-D2 where he spoke English.
I like that. Oh, Fernando Zayas has joined us and says, the droids are one of my favorite parts about Star Wars. They really are, and each particular Star Wars series or movie has had their own droid, and they're very special.
Yeah, the counterparts, you've got the BB-8, you have the K2SO, you have R2 and 3PO, of course. You have the little pocket switchblade
droid
and the Acolyte. Yeah, so you can't get around in the galaxy without a good droid. All right, Sarah. Next, who do we have?
We have Mon Mothma, one of my favorite characters. I love this backstory that this whole series has been giving her. Now, she is the senator who is secretly building and funding the rebellion against the Empire. And in season 1, she was in deep trouble when the Empire started keeping a closer eye on all the banking. So she had been funding the rebellion, but now that the Empire is keeping a closer eye, that is in danger. So she contacted her old Chandrillan friend, Te Como. And he was tasked with helping her find a way to justify the disappearance of 400,000 credits that she had used to fund the rebellion.
Yeah, because at this point, it was her money, so she could move it any way she wanted. But now the Empire is keeping a closer eye. It's very hard to justify the disappearance of 400,000 credits. So she was beginning to lose it. They're gonna find me. They're gonna ask me where this money went, and what am I gonna say? So luckily, she's got friends in high places, like her old friend in quotes, I would guess. What kind of a close friend he was, we don't really know at this point.
It seems like they have a little bit of a romantic, like they definitely have eyes for each other. Let's say that. Yeah.
But it was Tay who connected Mon Mothma with another fun name to say, Davos Skalden.
Yes. Skaldrin or Skolden?
Skalden.
Okay. Davos Skolden.
Skalden. Fantastic. I love these names here. This one's kind of hard to say. Like you were just saying, is it Skaldrin or Skolden? I've got to train my brain to say Skolden.
Okay. Yeah, he's really cool. He's very, very wealthy man. He's also Chandrillan. He's a banker. But he's a shady thug, known for his unconventional ways of business. So Skolden agrees to help Mon, but he doesn't want money in return. The only thing he wants is an introduction between his son Stekken and Mon's daughter Leda. And at this point, Mon is backed into a corner. She wants nothing to do with Davo, but if she doesn't accept, the Empire will find out what she's been doing.
Yeah, so being a banker, he knows ways of covering this missing 400,000.
At the same time, her husband, Perrin, he's not on her side. So she's like dealing with all these problems everywhere in the Senate, in this monetary problems, and then also her husband is not behind her. In fact, he kind of accuses her that she's romantically involved with Tay, but he's also really clueless to what's going on in Mon's life.
And as Mon has said many times, I can't trust Perrin. Can't trust him.
That's right.
So her family life is just horrible. If anyone needs to be at the top of these Mount Rushmore of the Rebel Alliance, of course it's Mon Mothma for what she is doing to save the galaxy from this empire. She sees it growing and has to do something, and she's sacrificing her whole life. She's sacrificing her family.
Her daughter?
Which I'm sure she's like, you know what? I'll sacrifice my family, no problem. I got my loser husband, who I can't trust, and my angsty daughter, who hates me. So, you know what? Davo, come in, take my daughter, please. I'll pay you, okay?
Well, that's not what her face is saying here in this scene, where she's basically they're meeting Davo and his wife and the son.
Yeah, Stekken.
Yeah, Stekken. But she looks so distraught and upset here.
Uman?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's like, why can't this happen fast enough? Well, because this is how she was connected with Perrin through a
right.
What do you call it?
Oh, an arranged marriage.
An arranged marriage. Thank you.
Very young.
Yeah,
and like I think she was like 13 or 15.
Yeah,
14.
And she doesn't approve of this Chandrillan custom. But right now, her back's up against the wall. If she doesn't throw her daughter to Stekken and the Davo clan, then the Empire will find her.
And then she can't help the rebellion.
So
she chooses the rebellion
over Perrin and Leda. She's like, no problem with that. No problem. Let's move on. All right. Next up is Luthen Rael.
Now, he is the mastermind behind the fledgling rebellion and the one who recruits Cassian Andor.
He's almost like a Saw Gerrera.
Yes.
Or Saw is more of an extremist. Luthen likes to plan things out, and he knows, like Saw will go in there and start attacking and bombing, which is going to cause more of a stir in the Empire and cause them to have more tighter security. But Luthen will think this through and think, I know if I start bombing everyone, then the Empire will come down twofold with their security parameter. So he knows he's got to play the long game with this.
Right. And he has a tough, no-nonsense right hand, Clea. She is so pretty. I love this. And she's just no nonsense. Like that's like, if any word is going to describe her, it's no nonsense. And they run a high-end collector's gallery on Coruscant, which is actually a front for their rebel activities.
And also a front for many Easter eggs.
Yeah, that too.
It's called the Easter Egg Gallery.
And a front for their radio network, which connects all these different rebel cells together. So Luthen, he hides in plain sight. Here's their gallery right here. We have a picture. And when he's playing the part of a gallery owner, he has a wig. And he it almost looks like he's cosplaying Palpatine, right?
He's cosplaying Palpatine or Liberace. He's very flamboyant. He's got a lot of jewelry.
Yeah.
And you know somewhere back there he's got like Max Rebo's organ. Just like Liberace.
That's right. Now, at the end of season 1, not wanting a loose end, Luthen travels to Ferrix to kill Cassian because Cassian has seen Luthen, seen his face. The Empire can get info out of Cassian if they catch him. However, Luthen takes Cassian in. Yes, Maria. So now, Maria, have you seen Andor, the first season? If not, I definitely recommend you do.
Yes, in the Sky Chat, let us know your thoughts on Andor Season 1, and if you want to tell us what you think about Season 2, or what you want to happen, or what you expect to happen. I'm trying so hard not to spoil anything.
Yes, let us know.
All right, so let's move on from Luthen Rael to the power couple that is Dedra Meero and Syril Karn.
I'm so excited. Well, first, let's go over to Dedra, who, again, as we mentioned at the opening, has the best scowl in the galaxy. She is a tough and focused ISB officer. ISB is Imperial Security Bureau, and she's obsessed with finding Axis. And this is what the ISB calls Luthen Rael. Now, after she discovers he was seen at the scene of the crime that involved a stolen Imperial Starpath device, that's how she meets up with Syril. Because Syril was on his way to find Andor, who was also procuring that Imperial Starpath device. So there you go. That's their meet cute. Now, Syril Karn is obsessed with finding Cassian, since Cassian killed 2 of his Preox Moralana colleagues and is responsible for turning his life upside down, which leads him to getting fired from his beloved Preox Morlana security job.
And even more extreme, being fired is one thing, being taken down from this high position. But there's one thing even more extreme, the scowl of his mother. You thought Dedra had a scowl. Well, no, his mother doesn't have a scowl. She comes at you with a smile.
Oh, yes. She's very, what is that called when you're nice and then mean on the inside?
Jekyll and Hyde.
Yeah, kind of like that.
Yeah, that wolf in sheep's clothing.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, he knows that, oh no, after all this, I get to deal with her. And that is a fate worse than being fired or just taken down from this position that he had.
Now, Syril has a very obsessive personality, and not only is he obsessed with creating order, like the Empire wants, but he's also obsessed with Dedra, because she is the only one who shares his obsession with finding Cassian and Luthen, which ties into his obsession of pleasing the Empire.
Now, I know it's a relationship based on tension, but I don't think he's coming at her with any kind of desire, any kind of attractiveness to her.
I think he's attracted to her obsession, and so the two obsessions are attracted to each other.
Right.
And that kind of bleeds over into the person.
Yeah, but I just don't think at this point he wants anything more than just to team up with her, because if anything, he wants to be part of the Empire, and
right.
he just can't get there.
I think that's his number one obsession, but number two is he's obsessed with her because he sees her as his way in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm just talking about on an emotional level.
Okay.
This could be anyone else, and I think he would be just as obsessed.
Now, Syril, he's like one of my favorite characters, if not the favorite. Like he tries to do good, what he thinks is good, but he ends up completely mucking everything up. Except at the very end of season 1, both Dedra and Syril are caught in the revolution on Ferrix, and after Wilmon throws the bomb, all hell breaks loose, and the rioting Ferrixians are about to kill Dedra when Syril swoops in and saves her life. He brings her to this back room, storeroom, right. Yeah, and he saves her, and in response, she shakingly says, "I suppose I should thank you," and never does. And they look like they're about to kiss, and the camera cuts away, and that's it.
Yeah, we were all waiting for that moment, hoping it would not happen. Hoping. I think at this point, he did find that attraction because of this little intimate moment. But he's one of those kind of characters who he's so laser focused on everything, he can't see what's going on around him. Because there's always different components to change the outcome of something. He can't see the actions going on around the situation or around him.
He can't see past the end of his nose.
Yes.
Yes. Now, when we did interview the actors in a roundtable at the beginning of season 1, they were so fun. The two of them, the actors together, and they called themselves the Twin Flames. So will we get a payoff of this in season 2? Okay, let's talk about two other lovers, Vel and Cinta. Now, these two women were part of the rebel team that, with Cassian, stole the 80 million credits from the Imperial base on Aldhani, the Aldhani heist. And basically, the two are they're focused on the rebellion, and they take the rest for themselves.
Well, Val, I think, would put their relationship over the rebellion.
Yeah.
But it was Cinta who says the rebellion comes first, and we get the scraps.
Yeah, that's very true.
How do you deal with that?
I don't know.
You move on. Vel, go find Dedra.
Now, Vel is not only the leader of Luthen's team in the Aldhani heist, but she's also Mon Mothma's cousin. So she, too, has like a dual personality in this series.
Yeah, and as we find out, her family's very wealthy.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
I think if you come from Chandrilla, that just means that you're wealthy. It's a wealthy planet.
And her family's always asking her, so when are you going to get married? When are you going to get married? And she's like,
when are you going to find that right guy?
Yeah,
You're
exactly.
Like, yeah. Discussion for another time.
Might be a problem with this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. So then in the chaotic Ferrix revolution, Cinta assassinates an Imperial spy in cold blood. And it's revealed that she really is cold-blooded.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. And the two of them then escape and survive to help Luthen fight another day.
What will become of them in season 2? Well, we'll know in just, another week and a half.
Yes, it's coming. All right, the final character we're going to go over was never in season 1, but he is in Rogue One. It is Orson Krennic.
The man with the awesome cape.
It is awesome. He's in charge of creating the Death Star, and in Rogue One, Tarkin then takes over once the Death Star is deemed worthy. And Tarkin cites that Krennic is not worthy because of his recent failures.
Oh, you let that pilot escape. So just because of that, I will take the Death Star. Thank you very much.
Mm-hmm.
So Krennic, go over to Galaxy's Edge. Get a little Death Star popcorn bucket. That'll help.
Oh my God. That's so funny.
Alrighty, so we've gone over the important characters and where we left off and things you should know about them before going into season 2. But there's another name we should know.
Yes.
And that is Gorman.
Now, that's not a name of a person. It is a planet. And we know from the trailers that this planet we will explore in season 2.
Yeah, so we really wanted to go into this because when we first heard it, we had like, okay, where is Gorman now? And
yeah, we heard the name, but like, where is this from? Exactly. It was bothering us.
Which is why we're doing this now, so you don't have to keep on pausing the DVR.
Yeah,
or
exactly.
I'm sorry, your
streaming
VHS.
Service, yes.
Oh, they're not watching this on VHS?
No, I don't think so. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so in season 1, Mon Mothma actually mentions the Gorman Front, which are the organized rebels on Gorman. She's in the Imperial Senate, and she's tried to put forth a bill that will help with the Gorman shipping lanes. But she's just denied at every corner.
Mm-hmm.
She can't get a majority.
But still, what is Gorman, and what big incident happened there that we should be focused on?
Okay.
Well, sit down for this, okay? Oh, wait a minute, hold on. Fernando in the Sky Chat is saying this is the best breakdown to a TV series ever.
Oh my.
Let's just stop the recording right now. There's no way we can top this.
Wow.
Thank you, Fernando. That means a lot.
Thank you.
Now let's go back to the Star Wars Rebels episode, Secret Cargo. And here we see Ezra, Hera, and Zeb. They're watching Mon Mothma's anti-Palpatine speech, denouncing the Gorman massacre, and putting the blame squarely on the Emperor's shoulders. And soon after this anti-Palpatine speech is broadcast, the Spectres, they have to bring Mon Mothma to the Rebel base on Dantooine. Then there, on Dantooine, she makes another speech. Oh, Mon. Oh, thank goodness you're here. And here she makes this impassioned speech to the rebels all across the galaxy. All these cells, everywhere you are, you got to listen to this. Because this is the speech that unites all of these cells into one alliance.
Beginning today, we stand together as allies. I hereby resign from the Senate. to fight for you, not from the distant halls of politics, but from the front lines. We will not rest until we bring an end to the Empire, until we restore our republic. Are you with me?
Yeah, I really urge you to watch that episode of Star Wars Rebels. That's in season 3.
Yes.
And we had just a great time. We just watched it yesterday, and it was very illuminating.
Yeah, very much so. But they keep mentioning this Gorman massacre. What is this? I think we can. It's in the trailers.
Yeah.
You see this plaza, and there's a big battle with stormtroopers and citizens going on there.
Looks like Cassian is there.
Yeah, so this is a big deal.
Mm-hmm. So Andor Season 2 may explore this Gorman massacre.
All right, so we can say in the end, it was because of this Gorman massacre that Mon Mothma made these speeches that united the rebels into an alliance. It was because of this inciting incident. All right, so now let's go behind the scenes on Andor Season 1 and see how it applies to Andor Season 2.
Yes, because we have the same design team that we had in Season 1. So production designer Luke Hull and costume designer Michael Wilkinson worked on both seasons. And during Season 1, we did this roundtable interview where the two discussed their work. You can listen to the whole entire roundtable interview on our YouTube, but now we're going to share just a few of their comments so you can be aware of all the storytelling going on in the sets and costumes. Okay, so first of all, Luke Hull and Michael Wilkinson will discuss Coruscant.
It was never about trying to make Coruscant look like Coruscant or Ralph McQuarrie's Coruscant or anything like that. It should smell like that. It should have that nostalgia, but it should fit in Star Wars. It shouldn't feel futuristic or sci-fi. So it's really complicated, but essentially the principles are materials. Like it should be monochromatic, it should be concrete, it should be steel, it should be glass, it should be things like this. It's hard, it's inhumane, there's a total lack of organic material there. And you just sort of make these decisions and you build it up and you realize what starts to work and what doesn't work.
It's funny how he mentioned Ralph McQuarrie's Coruscant.
Oh yeah,
because
exactly.
There's one production painting
of
Ralph
really?
McQuarrie's Coruscant.
Oh my goodness.
Which was just a big cityscape.
Oh wow. Okay, well there you go.
Yeah, but like he said, it's a very cold place with no organics. There's no trees, there's no waterfalls. It's so anti-Naboo or
anti-nature,
Endor, anti-nature.
Right. There's lots of concrete structural elements,
glass, and just buildings. It's a planet that is one big city.
Yeah. And so extrapolating that to different environments is what the team essentially did. Now let's hear from Michael Wilkinson, who discusses the costume design of Coruscant.
I think from my point of view, we did what we do on all planets. Luke and I talked really deep dived into the culture, and we wanted to build actual, real, authentic societies, and not just like random colors and textures for each planet. But we thought about, the culture, what materials and technologies would they have? How is it a stratified society? Is it a unified society? We thought Coruscant would be very diverse. There would be people from all over the galaxy there. That's the seat of government. And so we wanted to represent that entire spectrum of culture. It's not like you just go to the rental house and you buy 6 of these things and you dye them different colors and that's your culture. We just wanted to think about every background player would have a backstory and a reason for being on screen.
So now when we see any new planets or societies in season 2, then we know what to look for. So ask yourself these questions, like what do the materials used on the walls or the buildings say about this society? Is it also very unnatural looking? Or like Ferrix, it was made of bricks because the whole town was like a working class culture. And that's what they made bricks as part of what they did. And also the color palette of the costumes. So And I already have questions just seeing some of the art that Disney has released for season 2. So if we look at this picture that Disney released with Mon Mothma, she's at her big event. You've got the dancing revelers around her, but she is looking back at the camera with a very worried look. She's looking over her shoulder. She's in a bronze dress. But the color palette here is very much like one of the Renaissance paintings, Girl with a Pearl Earring by Vermeer. And even her Mon Mothma's stance is that of the girl with the pearl earring.
That very worried look.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that girl with the pearl earring, maybe the whole weight of the galaxy is falling on her shoulders as well.
Absolutely.
Just trying to tie it all together. But yeah, I can see that's that same pose, that same color scheme.
Yeah. So what does this say about this particular society? Okay, so let's move on to the framing of scenes. What is that called in movies?
Mise en scène.
Mise en scène, yes. So every frame told a story in season 1. And I just want to show you some of those pictures from season 1 because it's just fascinating. Especially Mon Mothma in season 1, she was seen in her home on Coruscant as trapped by the walls and doorways. Look at this. She's in 2 doorways. It's like they're closing in on her.
So these 2 doorways, they're octagon shaped. And where do you see an octagon out in society? When society wants you to stop. That's
sign?
a stop sign right there. When society says stop it. Maybe that's a city thing.
Oh my gosh, I never put that together. That's hilarious.
But you know what? She's not gonna stop. That's her thing.
Yeah.
Because she got that light right over her head. That what do you call it? I want to call it
a rim light? Halo?
I want to call it the Chandrilla light.
Oh.
Chandelier.
Chandelier. Oh.
The chandelier Chandrillan light above her.
Okay,
that
but
says nope.
Well, okay, but in this scene where she's sitting on her big giant couch, the light, the chandelier,
the cone of light
is bearing down on her, I would say. It's like
also
hemming her in.
Well, it's focusing right on her. She is the light of this whole galaxy.
Oh, see, to me, it looks like it's bearing down on her, like it's crushing her.
Oh,
her head.
It's light. So light means that she's being enlightened, and it's something like a spotlight to focus.
Okay, and then this
you know
scene.
What? That's why there's a whole big college course called Art in the Make of Meaning, which I failed miserably because I just wanted to talk about Star Wars and Batman.
Oh
the
no!
The teacher said, "Stop! Why does every analogy have to do with Star Wars and Batman?"
That's hilarious.
So he failed me on based on that.
Oh no! Well, let's look at this other scene from season 1, and this is Mon Mothma at her breakfast table, and she is surrounded on both sides. One is Perrin on one side, Leia is on the other, and of course Vel is there too. But it looks like the 2 are squeezing her in because they're just not on her side. Yeah. Now, moving forward, so in season 2, definitely look for some of these.
The framing.
The mise en scène.
The mise en scène.
Yes.
Very French for framing.
Oh, in fact, okay, I just want to bring up. So let's look at this same Renaissance painting that I was showing you before. So Mon Mothma is with the revelers behind her, but you see on the wall behind her, there is a round kind of doorway.
The door jamb.
That she is underneath. So again, she's being framed by that rounded doorway.
And she's framed in these circles because a circle has, you can't put Mon Mothma in a corner. A circle has no corners. So you can't put her. So you can't put Mon Mothma in a corner when she's typically framed in these circular doorways.
Interesting.
You can't put Mon in a corner. You can put Baby in a corner, just not Mon Mothma.
Okay, let's also look at her costuming. This one image that Disney Plus released from season 2. She has all these straps and stuff like right around her neck and shoulders. It's like she's being tied down by the society. Again, the costuming just says so much. I love it. So now let's talk about the music, one of my favorite parts. Now, back in season 1, the Andor title page intro music kept changing. Each of the 12 episodes, it was different. It culminated in the funeral band playing the Andor theme in the final episode. Do you remember that, Richard?
Oh, one of the most haunting, beautiful pieces of music I would say I've ever heard. Not just on a soundtrack, but ever heard.
Yes. So this is your reminder to listen to each title card in Andor Season 2 and perhaps find meaning behind them all.
All right, so I think we've said all we can say to get you up to speed for Andor Season 2. Believe me, we're bursting at our seams because we want to just say so much, but that will be next week.
Yeah, so look for our written review next week on Andor Season 2, and also things we want to share next week. We will also share our spoiler-free thoughts. One of the things that the embargo wanted us to do, the Disney wanted us to do, was to share our thoughts on the season as a whole, which is why they offered us all 12 episodes.
It's been very hard but very fun to do this episode right now with talking about it and then saying, oh, but then in Season 2, this is what they did. Had to pull back. But the main objective was to make sure that you were all brought up to speed with these different characters and situations, so you wouldn't have to keep on pausing like what we had to do and go look up Gorman or Brasso.
Exactly. And so now you're all prepped, and we prepped you on information that really is very good to know going into Season 2 and will help your enjoyment of it too. And that's our goal.
So Skywalkers, let us know your thoughts on Andor Season 1. Is there something that we didn't talk about? Put it in the comments of this post on YouTube or on Facebook or Instagram.
Well, that wraps up episode 511 of
Skywalking Through Neverland. We want to thank Disney and Lucasfilm for sending us the entire Andor Season 2 season. We were not expecting this, but we are very, very appreciative. That way we can do all these fun episodes to tell you what to expect and what not to expect.
And we want to thank all of you Skywalkers who listen and watch every week. We are so grateful to you. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Just search Skywalking Through Neverland on YouTube. Maybe we can get 10 more subscribers by next week.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we will. Now, do you have things that you want to share? Well, we do, so join us every Monday at 6 p.m. Pacific time on YouTube as we share things that we've done in the past week. Coming up, we'll be talking about Andor. People can come up and share their collector items that they've just gotten. Glenn Stein in the Sky Chat right now likes to come on and share his Spider-Gwen collectibles. Thank you. And Maria's always there, and Fernando's always there, and this is like Romper Room now.
And Star Wars Celebration will have just happened, so
Oh.
maybe some of our Skywalkers will be coming in from Japan sharing what they have gotten.
Woo-wee.
Oh,
Things we want to share international.
Yes. Now you can find us on all social media at Skywalking Pod, and we also have books. Autographed copies of Today in Star Wars History, Part 1 and 2, and Skywalking Through My Fandom, the interactive notebook, are available now from skywalkingthroughneverland.com/book.
Now, do you want to support Skywalking Through Neverland? Well, consider supporting us through the Skywalking Force, which is our Patreon. The Skywalking Force has access to bonus content in the form of our Zoom and StreamYard discussions on the past Disney Plus shows, and you can get coupon codes for our books, and when it comes convention season, you might get a pass to a Comic-Con.
Yes, and also releasing tonight, as we record this, is our WonderCon panel video to just the Skywalking Force at level $5 a month or above. So Skywalking Force, only you will be able to watch that video because it has trivia answers. So we don't want to put that out publicly, but we wanted to do something special for you.
Because you are part of the Skywalking Force.
So if you want to be part of the Skywalking Force also, head to skywalkingforce.com and have a look at the options. And thank you so much to those of you who are already part of the Skywalking Force.
Now, we also want to thank our sponsor, Small World Vacations, for their continued support. Thinking of a trip to a Disney park, a Disney cruise, or to a Universal Studios theme park, or maybe all three? Well, you can fill out a Get a Quote form at smallworldvacations.com today. Their vacation planning service is free of charge, so check it out and tell them Skywalking Through Neverland sent you.
Now, we are part of the Skywalking Network. Where you can also find other great shows like Talking Apes,
Star Warsologies,
the Max Effects Podcast,
the Neverland Clubhouse,
Totally Tell Me Everything,
and the YouTube shows Collectopolis and
Today in Star Wars History.
Now, don't forget to stick around for bloopers and other fun bits that didn't make it into the show, and
always remember
to avoid that Gorman massacre.
And
Neverland on Alderaan. Hey, everyone. Sarah's being mean to me.
Wow. This is how it's going to go.
Right out of the gate.
And then I'm going to need you to do your clappy claps.
I'm always just waiting for that, okay? I can't start the show until I get the command.
Maria asks, is season 2 better than season 1? We can't answer that until next week, Monday.
Yeah.
We're like embargoed. So.
Which means that we can't say a thing.
Yeah.
Hey, look at those names to the left. They are part of the Skywalking Force, our Patreon.
Become a producer yourself and check out all the Disney Plus themed bonus content available depending on the level you subscribe.
Become a member of the elite Skywalking Force at skywalkingforce.com.